really hesitant on the latter, because it's not that the data lies, it's just as a recording of something. It's just that your interpretation, what it means, doesn't correspond with what it actually was that you wrote down there. And I think the bigger topic that I find very hard to communicate is, most people feel that data is like a technical domain. But quality control in data is just awful. It's really, really hard. I don't know how good my model is, and I don't know if I spend another week on it, whether I will be getting 1% or 10% better. I have no idea. And I'm presumably good at what I do. I think the big issue with data science is exactly that. You never know whether it is any good and how you keep it going. It has a very kind of subjective component and skill that needs to maintain to address exactly these kinds of problems then popping up.
It's so true. There's this lovely quote actually by Jeff Bowker, which is one of my all-time favorites, where he says that raw data is both an oxymoron and a bad idea. And that on the contrary, data should be cooked with care. And I think it's by working with people like Claudia that you can see just how much is done at the human level, that we sort of fetishize algorithms and data. But actually what it really gets down to is getting better as scientists at really trying to use these kinds of, I mean, the sentiment study was classic. It was a problem of geolocation. The dot on the map was slightly north of the school.
And a tiny sample size, and bad journalism.
Exactly.
Like, that's a classic.
I think it's a topic that Gustavo can talk about. Everybody published this study without doing the smallest amount of interrogation.
That's right.
Yeah, there's a lot to be done in terms of data literacy. We haven't talked about that, but for journalists, it should be maybe a class in the university nowadays. Because we are talking about data journalism is also almost like a pleonasm. We always have been working with data, but we need more literacy now around tools and this kind of things. No.
So that gets to, going back to something that Andrew said, that data scientists, it's okay that it's scientists because it's math and other people can't do it or something. I actually think one of the challenges is that I think almost everybody can be a data scientist. No, Claudia. But I mean, I think that there is more of a perception that everybody can be a data scientist than a climate scientist, for example. And the challenge, I think there's sort of good things and bad things about that. One of the challenges is, as going back to the citizen science piece, as we get more and more access to satellite imagery, and this is something that Gustavo engages with as well, we can open up more collective stewardship of our resources. But there's this challenge there, right? There is a scientific process with science with a big S, which does have peer review, that does give us a sense of what